Hey guys, I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with the message for Leo, summarizing Venus, and any other significant placements. This is just going to be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but typically it's going to be about your relationship to something or someone in particular. For those of you who haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become an official Sunflower. We start today's reading with the Tower, okay? The Tower is an energy of revelation, creating shockwaves throughout your life that destroy anything that has not been established on a solid foundation. Okay. This can also indicate some sort of massive change in your life. I am reading this as the ending of a very significant relationship. This might have been a long-term relationship. You guys might have been together for 10 years or more. It doesn't have to be that, but it just looks like a very significant relationship in your life. And I feel like the ending of this relationship, you've almost been dwelling in that space, dwelling in that energy for a while now, because the central energy here is the Ten of Swords. You're basically walking around the graveyard. I'm not sure. You could be a widow or a widower. I'm not sure how this relationship ended. My condolences to those of you who have lost a spouse, especially if you were in a healthy, happy relationship with this person, because I can understand how confusing that might be. Like, you finally found your person, and then the time you've spent together may feel really short now that they're not a part of your life anymore, or they're not playing that role anymore. My condolences also go out to those who were in solid relationships, or relationships that they felt were solid, that didn't last or stand the test of time, okay? Because you might have envisioned your entire life with a certain person, and now your life is totally different because they're not a part of it anymore. I do see you kind of walking around in this place where you're lingering in the ending, because I think there's this idea that if you acknowledge that it's time for you to move on, then it's almost like it's really over, right? I think that this is the last part of you that's holding on to this relationship, or what this relationship represented for you, whether it was a dream or a vision or this idea for your future. I just feel like you holding on to the pain of this, or lingering in the grief or the sorrow, or just lingering in the ending energy of this, is the only thing that's really keeping it alive for you. What I will remind you is that there is peace and closure coming if you are open to it. I think accepting that it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to let go. It's time for you to release this that has been weighing so heavily on your heart. Um, I understand that it was really difficult for you, but I do feel like you have a strong support system, or you have some really good friends, or you have family members who really have your back. I think it's been long enough since the ending of this relationship, however it ended, right? I think it's been long enough since this ending that now your family and friends are starting to be a little bit concerned about you, okay? And I mean, they might be kind of lighthearted, teasing you about, you should start dating again. Maybe you should find someone else. It's time for you to move on from this. And over time, it kind of gets a little bit more serious, to where now they're not just suggesting that you move on. Now they're not just suggesting that you start dating again. They're almost like very strongly encouraging it. Okay. Very strongly encouraging that you put yourself out there, at least in social situations, even if it's not necessarily a romantic situation. People are ready for you to get out of get out of your house and get in their face. They want to FaceTime with you. They want to be around you and be in your energy and show you love and show you support. So if you haven't been spending time with your friends and your family and the people that are close to you, they want to see you, they miss you, they love you, okay? And they want to be there for you. But they understand also that maybe you've been dwelling in kind of this darkness for a really long time, dwelling in this disappointment, this loss for a really long time, and that it might be a little bit more difficult for you to shake it off. But that's kind of like I'm not sure the word. Maybe it's paradox. Maybe that's the paradox. It's like the only way that you can really get out of this funk is by going out, spending time with people you love, reminding yourself that you are alive. You get to be here. You get to live. You get to make choices. You get to have experiences, right? You get to be joyful again. But then you don't have the energy, the motivation, or the desire because you're lingering in this darkness. You see what I mean? By like, I don't know if paradox is the right word, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like the only way to get out of it is to get out of it. But it's hard to get out of it if you're not motivated to get out of it. I'm just going to say it's going to be your responsibility to take the first step. The hidden energy here is the Four of Swords, and under that is the Eight of Pentacles. You've been spending so much time alone with the Hermit here. Okay, Virgo energy. You could have that in your chart. You might not. You've been spending so much time alone, but now it's time for you to work on closing this chapter. Okay, I'm sorry that this happened. I'm sorry that you don't get to live the life that you thought you could have. But just think, now you have space to dream new dreams, to have new visions, to bring life to things that you haven't experienced in a long time, parts of you that you haven't enjoyed in a long time. One thing I like to say, one thing that I deeply believe, not just like to say, is that the depth of the kind of dark, heavier emotions that you feel is also the height of the emotions, the positive, happy, joyful emotions that you're able to experience. So yes, you have felt this very deeply. And yes, I understand that it's hard to get out of this place, but just imagine the joy and the pleasure and the energy and the creativity that's waiting for you on the other side of this. It's just asking you to let this be done now. I get that it's hard. I get that it's challenging. I get that you don't have the motivation to do it, but all you have to do is take the first step. And I think it will get easier from there. I see you coming into a place where you are thinking, maybe I should get back out there. Maybe I should try again. Maybe I should start dating. And I think you need to give yourself time and be patient with yourself because it's not always going to be easy, right? It's not always going to be easy to put yourself out there in the world, but you still have to do it, you know? Even if you're not having the experiences that you want to have, even if you think that there's nothing that can top the relationship that you were in, or there's nothing that can top the chapter of your life that is now closed, if you continue to believe that way, then there might not be, right? Our mindset, our perception of things, the way we process things, that's what shapes our reality. And if you continue telling yourself that it's not possible, then it won't be. I do see you stepping into a lot more hopeful energy, kind of regaining a little bit of that zest for life. I think you've been locked away long enough. I think you've hidden yourself from the world long enough. I think it's time for you to come on out. I think it's time for you to shine. I think it's time for you to expand your horizons and let everybody experience your beautiful energy. And it's not just about other people, it's really about you. But I just feel like you want to put yourself back out there again. You want to have fun again. You just don't know how. Just do it. The next time somebody invites you out, go. The next time somebody says, hey, you want to come over? Or hey, can I come spend some time with you? Say yes. Okay. Don't think of these things as such an inconvenience. And maybe they are inconvenient, but that is the cost of community, right? Being inconvenienced sometimes. That is the cost of having friends and maintaining social relationships, is being inconvenienced sometimes. So maybe it feels inconvenient now because, like I said, you don't necessarily have the motivation, but you do have the desire. And that's where it all starts. There's this little ember in you burning, and it's waiting for you to put some more wood on it so it can turn into a full flame. You know what I mean? All right, let's clarify the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords for Leo. Yeah, we have the Chariot and the Seven of Wands. You have been resisting moving forward. You have been resisting reclaiming your rightful place and space in your own life, right? The Chariot talks about moving forward come what may. It doesn't matter if we have ups and downs, ins and outs, all arounds. It doesn't matter what comes. I'm still going to push forward. I'm still going to stay true to my desires. I'm still going to feed my soul. I'm still going to have experiences that bring me joy. Come what may. It doesn't matter. The sun is shining. The sails are open. We're ready to go. That's how I feel. You're going to step into this energy sooner or later. Probably sooner than later, especially after watching this video, whenever you're called to watch it, you are going to step into the energy of just wanting to move forward. It's almost like you need permission, or you need somebody to tell you that it's okay. If you need it from me, I can tell you that. We're perfect strangers, unless you know me in real life, right? But I'll tell you right now, it's okay. It's okay for you to move forward. It's okay for you to move on. It doesn't mean that what you experienced before the chapter that's closing wasn't important to you. And nobody is asking you to throw away the memories, okay? But it's time for you to make some new ones. It's time for you to have new experiences. It's time for you to put yourself back out there in the world, because that's where you want to be. Because deep down, if you really think about it, if you admit that to yourself and allow yourself to surrender to that truth that you do want to be back out in the world. You do want to be around your friends. You do want to be socializing. You do want to feel happy and healthy and whole again. You just don't want the guilt. You just don't want the shame that comes from moving forward. And that's not your problem. Let that go. That kind of stuff comes from caring too much about what other people think. That kind of stuff comes from living up to other people's expectations for your life. Okay? You've mourned enough, you've grieved enough, you've sat in this enough, you've processed it enough. It's time for you to move forward. It's time for you to move on. It's time for you to reclaim yourself and live your life. Okay? Let's talk about the Justice card here for Leo. The Wheel of Fortune with the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck. You know, you might be questioning why this happened to you or why things happen the way that they happen. It's life. The Wheel of Fortune talks about sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you get a prize, and sometimes you don't. The Wheel of Fortune talks about life itself, right? The ebbs and the flows. It's all a part of life. Life isn't only life when it's good, when it feels good, when it's happy. Life is also the lows, the hard parts, the struggle. It's all the same experience, and it all comes in through the same door. You can't block one out without blocking the other out, right? The Wheel of Fortune reminds us that everything is temporary and that nothing is a punishment. You're not being punished, right? For whatever happened to you. Whatever happened to you is not a punishment. It's just life. You're also not the only person who's dealt with what you're going through. So it might be helpful for you to seek out a support group, maybe even online. You don't have to go and sit in a room full of people you don't know. You can maybe just sit in your room and talk to people you don't know, right? There are online groups and communities everywhere these days. We also have the Seven of Cups, right? Like I said, pondering, wondering, why did this happen to me? Creating that like confusion that keeps you stuck in this kind of nag spiral, right? It's like this thing that's pulling at you, eating at you. It doesn't have to. You can just decide to accept life on life's terms. You can surrender to life right now. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know why. You can just accept that this happened, that you're ready to move on and move on. Your life is your own. You don't have to live up to anybody's expectations. You don't have to do anything the way other people prescribe it to you. Do what you feel in your heart you want to do. Okay? Turn that spark into a flame. Let's clarify the Page of Wands for Leo, please. Leo. Page of Wands for Leo. We have the Six of Wands. Okay? I love this energy. We're talking about victory, success, and also moving forward from a difficult time, a time that felt overwhelming with conflict and drama, overwhelming energies, overwhelming emotions. You're moving forward. You're finding your confidence again. Okay? You're finding your spark again, your light. You're learning how to connect again, how to receive that love again, how to put yourself out there again. And it feels good. And it feels good. I wouldn't steer you wrong, okay? This is your energy. I'm just reading it. And what I can tell from your energy is that you are ready. You're ready to move on from this. You are. You can do this. And once you make that first step out that door, you won't even look back. You'll just be back to your regular Leo self, confident, shining like the sun. Okay? You can get back there and you will. As long as you take that first step. Acknowledge that all of this is a process. All of this is a journey. You don't have to change overnight. You don't have to wake up and be that 100% yourself, because maybe that version of you doesn't even exist anymore. Maybe it's time for you to craft a new version of you. The version of you that's stronger for having been through what you've gone through. The version of you that's more resilient and more persistent and more discerning and more compassionate and graceful to yourself, to other people. Let's clarify this Three of Cups for Leo, please. Three of Cups. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Fool. You're going to take the risk. You're going to take the leap. You're going to take a chance. Okay? If we're talking about dating, maybe you make a profile on a dating app. Maybe you go out to a couple of happy hours. You see what's going on. If we're talking about friendship, This is talking about returning, like taking the leap, right? If somebody has been asking you to reconnect with them, spend time with them, right? I see you taking that leap and having a good time, not being so bogged down with the responsibilities, the pressure, guilt, shame, any of that. It's being totally, totally free. There's a release happening for you. There's a release happening for you. And I think it starts with a change in your mindset, a change in the way that you perceive the situation. Let's reframe it, right? Let's reframe it to where you can get your power back, to where you can reclaim those parts of yourself that you felt like you lost, and where you can create a brand new version of you, ready for the world, ready to see what's going on out here. Yeah, there's a risk. There's inherently a risk in all things, but I think you're going to take that risk anyway, because I think it's going to pay off for you. I think you're about to experience a lot more love and joy than you ever thought possible because you went through such a difficult time, because you've experienced such heavy, dark, emotional things. Because now you realize that life is too short to stay there. Life is too short to dwell. Life is too short to wallow. You got to get out there. You got to be yourself. You got to live your truth, be authentic to you and your desires. That's the only way that you're going to reclaim this joy. That's the only way that you're going to reclaim your life from this pain. And you deserve to be free, Leo. This is what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll be with you next time.